And with that, City Chicago, do not hate me. I come in peace. We even got representation. They was on my ass last week, man. I gotta reach out, make sure everything's good. Like
That's a DEI hire, y'all. He bullshitting.
I like I said last week, I like Caleb Williams, man, and that's still it was the truth then. It's the truth now. It is what it is. Hey man, y'all see him, y'all know it. My brother is in the building. Will is here, standing in at 6 foot, 213 pounds. That's what, like light heavyweight.
Heavyweight. Anything over 200.
That's great. I can't get into this again, but that's just I'll never. Like I said, I just can't imagine someone 135 knocking me out. I'm sure they could do it, but like it's. Oh man. So let's start here, and I want to separate the team versus the player. So. Again, part of the Caleb Williams experience is that, yes, there is more expectations on him than the other guys in his draft class. So even if my take last week was if we don't see the improvement, the hype that he had coming into the league, you can't end that as the 5th or 6th best guy in your class. I'm not saying he's that now because there's a valid argument. JJ hasn't played enough. Penix hasn't played enough. And Drake May, I think he's been better on Drake May hasn't, in my opinion, Drake May hasn't even played enough. Your expectations versus what you've seen out of Caleb the first 2 weeks of the season.
So as far as expectations, I think my expectation, and we kind of talked about it last week, was just to see improvement on last year. We talked. I think I said that I would pick them to make the playoffs. I think you did also, but I also said more than anything, you just want to see improvement over, from last year. And so far, I mean, I think we still kind of seeing some ups and downs. So of course, last week in the first half, he was looking really, really good. I think 10 for 10 or something like that. Not against the Lions, but that week one against the Vikings. And then the second, so then in the second half, we kind of seen some ups and downs. And I think it's times now where we still seeing flashes, and we just hoping to kind of see it get put together consistently. And some of it, I don't know if it's a Caleb thing or if it's a scheme thing as far as still just trying to learn the offense, get integrated into this new system with all the other players. So, I mean, I think we see him and we see that the talent is there. We see some really, really high moments. We see those flashes and things like that. And I think we're just trying to start to see it happen on a consistent basis.
No, it's the going back to week one. Like week two is kind of – week two in retrospect is kind of one of those games you just throw out. Is like everybody was playing bad and you don't really want to use that as like the basis for moving forward. Week one, the throw he did like rolling out to his right and he rifled it to, I think it was Rome, and it felt like it was like 100 miles an hour. And it was like, that was a crazy throw. That's where you see the raw talent come out. And it's like, all right, there's only a handful of guys who could make that throw in that spot. Mm-hmm. Separating, or at least in not just everybody, but the entirety of the team through these first 2 weeks. Obviously, there's a lot of expectation / hype is always kind of like a gray line, because if you start to get a bunch of hype, expectations kind of come with it, and vice versa. Is what you've seen from the Bears in totality. Obviously, they're 0-2. I talked yesterday, 0-2 is not nearly the same. The stat reads bad of like, only 12% of teams make the playoffs. But the reality is a lot of 0-2 teams are also just bad. I don't think the Bears are that bad. Again, like you just said, I had them making the playoffs to start the year. What have you seen so far from Chicago through this 0-2 start?
Inconsistency. Sorry, I had to move around a little bit. I just seen them not being consistent. Overwhelmed, and in this Lions game especially. So I think it gets interesting when you talk about like expectations. And I mean, even for me, I picked the Bears to beat the Lions going into it. I picked them to beat the Vikings. So I picked them to be 2-0. But the Lions, the Lions, I think we know that they're a better team. But I also know that typically the Bears play pretty good against the Lions. I think last year we may have split with them. Yeah. But this was a Lions team kind of coming back after losing both of their coordinators, kind of people wondering whether they would be able to still be good without their coordinator. So they kind of came out with something to prove.
No,
Um, I mean, and it's
it's,
still like, Ben Johnson like is who he is as a coordinator. And I think Ben Johnson is going to be a good head coach, but I think it's also just a new head coach, a new system, a young team as far as like some of his core players are pretty young and things like that. So,
mm-hmm.
like I said, I'm just glad I'm not like one of those fans that's just unrealistic. Like, I do have my expectations. I set my expectations, but it's like I'm also not in shock when maybe things don't go that way.
No, it's valid. I'd look, man, never lost on a BS play. And like, I was pretty mature about it in the moment, but I'm like one more of those games away from crashing out. But again, you have a much healthier approach to this than I do.
I think, yeah, and I think just as a team, and even I guess with Caleb is like, I think as a fan, and regardless of like the outcome of the games, I want to see him play good, and I want to see the improvement from him because you don't want to leave this season, you don't want to finish the season off saying like, oh, do the Bears need to draft a quarterback?
Yeah,
So
no,
like if things
for
are
sure.
yeah, so it's like if things are if things may not be going in our favor as far as the games, but like Caleb is looking good and he's looking like okay, we know for sure that he's going to be the quarterback of the future. It's like I'm okay with that, like regardless of what the win loss totals are. But you just don't want the season to end and then you got a bunch of people saying like, oh, the Bears need to go find a quarterback, or the Bears need to consider drafting a quarterback.
No, 1,000%. I think that's you don't want, and this is the worst case scenario, obviously, you don't want to be in a position the Panthers are in, which is you draft Bryce Young with the first overall pick, who wasn't as heralded as Caleb, but still first overall pick as quarterback. And now, if Bryce doesn't get it together this year, they might be 2 years later going back in the draft for another quarterback. And that
Yeah,
sets your
because
franchise back mad years, and any good players you had, like, that shit goes. And to Caleb's credit, I do think it's kind of an odd conversation of, what did he not do in week 2, or did he not perform? And it's like the defense, they gave it 52 points. Like at a certain point, it's like, man, look, the whole team played bad. Again, that's one of those games you just kind of scrap it and you're like, look, nobody played good. Get it back together. Let's keep it moving.
yeah,
I phrase this so I'm a very noted Chiefs hater. I hate all 3 teams in the AFC West besides the Broncos, but the Chiefs have been the most successful, so they get the most hate. They are 0-2. Now, nobody is going to flat out call them off or write them off at 0-2. And again, I don't think 0-2 is really a death sentence anymore the way it used to be. You got an extra game, and great players figure out a way to do it. So I do believe, like, you got Mahomes, that means something. If the Chiefs go, most likely beat the Giants, speaking, to go to 1-2. But if they fall to 1-3, because the week after that, they'll play the Ravens on Monday Night Football. If they drop to 1-3, I phrase it as, will you join me on the Chiefs hate train? And at 1-3, is it valid to say they might actually miss the playoffs?
at 1-3 for most teams, I would say yes. At 1-3 for Chiefs, I don't know if I would say that. Um,
Close, man. I just
I mean,
rather.
I mean, as far as like the Chiefs hate train, I wouldn't say I'm joining you on the Chiefs hate train.
Hey, 1-3. Like, again, I get it. You got
Like the
Mahomes, you
Chiefs
got
don't
Andy
really
Reid.
like they don't the Chiefs don't impact me a whole lot.
That's a good life to live. Trust me,
Yeah, like they
because
they not like they and I mean even if I think if the Bears were like good and in competition to like in Super Bowl talks or in like consideration to make it deep in the playoffs, I may feel differently. I'm not there yet. I don't have a reason to hate them. They're not stopping nothing for me at the moment.
nah, that's valid. Uh, with a team that you could, do you feel? So we know you like Detroit, because you said before, is like Detroit basically like that's your least, that would be the least despised other division team.
Yeah, those are our cousins.
Do we? There you go. Okay. Does it make you nervous as a, sometimes, like, again, I've said I've been kind of trapped in the space of like Mahomes in the same division as the team that I root for, puts you in a real rough spot. You just know most years it's like, all right, they got first place and everybody's kind of fighting for second. Do the Packers now give you that kind of feeling that the next 5 to 6 years with Jordan Love, the young receivers, Micah, the way the defense been playing to start this season, like, does that make you nervous going forward? Like, damn, they might turn into one of those teams that basically put everybody else fighting for second.
No, especially not Jordan Love. Shout out to him though. And it's funny, like, because it's like I think, like, typically, like, as a Bears fan, it's like, you have like that disdain for like the Packers and like, which I do, and like they quarterbacks. Like, I don't really feel a way about Jordan Love. I just don't think he's that good. Like, and I'm not saying he's bad. I'm not even saying like I can say Caleb is better than him right now or anything like that. But regardless of like Caleb Williams, I just don't feel like he's that good. So it's like he's not like I don't spend like he ain't Aaron Rodgers, he ain't Brett Favre. I don't spend a whole lot of time thinking about Jordan Love, to be honest. That defense, like, listen, I have the Packers defense in a few of my fantasy leagues. So, like, and that goes against a lot of things that I believe in, but I can't let my biasness cost me money sometimes.
See, that's maturity.
So I mean, and I think the Packers are gonna be. I think they're gonna be good. I don't know if I have that. I don't know if I have that feeling about them yet. And not saying that can't change. And even with them beating Detroit in Week 1, I still think Detroit is the best team in the division.
No, it's valid. Jordan Love, my problem is like he's too streaky for me to say like he's really, really good yet. Because like
and I don't even think he asked. Like, I don't think Jordan Love sucks by any means. I just don't think like he's not like he's just not somebody like if I'm listing off the Packers that I'm concerned with, he ain't on the list of like people I'm worried about.
He kind of gets grouped a little, and he can't really control it. It's the franchise he plays for. Like, because they went from Favre to Rodgers, and he showed some success early, it's like they automatically just assume like, oh, well, you just the next one up, and it's like, no, you following up 2 future Hall of Famers. Like, there's no guarantee you gonna be that guy. So I'm kind of I'm there with you. I'll say this really quick before we get a prediction for the weekend. And I feel like this is the question all Bears fans are asking. I feel like you've probably already answered this, but I'll phrase it. You play the Cowboys this weekend. And really just in general, like going forward, would you rather it be lose 35-31 or start winning games 15-12?
I mean, I would definitely prefer the wins, honestly. Okay. But I would prefer the wins, but then I would also like to see us be able to put up points consistently. And like 15-12, that's not putting up points consistently. But then, or even in that Vikings game, like we scored. I think we went into halftime 17-6. And then it was like a long time before we scored again. So it's like I would like us to just be more consistent on offense altogether, but I would definitely prefer the wins.
No, see, that's real. I respect that. There's a lot of Bears fans in the media who are like, no, we'll take the offense when it comes to the losses because they want to see Caleb. And I'm just like, hey man, look, Mahomes ain't even scoring like that the last couple of years. Like, if you actually want to see a team do well, you take the win. You don't really care how it looks at the end of the day. Other people might complain, but like at the end of the day, you want to win.
I mean, because if you go in there now, it would depend. I mean, it also depends on the teams. Like, all right, are you winning 15-12 against the Packers? Like, a team with a really good defense, or are you winning? Are you in like close games like that with the Eagles? Like, I don't want to see us in a dogfight with the Titans or some, or the Dolphins for that matter. Like, these teams that are not that good right now. Like, yeah, so it's like I don't want to see us, in a dogfight with teams like that.
Nah, it's valid.
Or especially a low scoring dogfight. Like now, if it's high scoring and like something like that, and it's like, all right, the offense is cooking or whatever. That's and I think the reason that that Bears fans would be okay with those high scores is because if those scores are that high, that means Caleb is producing on offense, and like I said earlier, the one thing that you don't want is to be leaving this season trying to figure out if you need to go get a quarterback. So that's kind of those high scoring games would kind of help you say, okay, well, at least we good here. Now we just need to figure out defense or something like that. So I can understand. I can definitely understand that. Like, I mean, if you're a good team and you're an established team and you win a few games like that, like those close games, 15-12 low scoring games, that's one thing. But when you're a team that's supposed to be, I mean, even with the Bears, like, this offense is supposed to be pretty dynamic. You do want to see the points get put up on the board.
Before I ask you about the score update, you want the Bulls to sign Kobe White for $30 million a year?
No, shout out to Kobe White though. I mean, it don't really matter. I ain't gonna lie, it don't matter what the Bulls do. Like, because we're not gonna get no free agents. We not like for us. We'll have to draft somebody. So it's like even Kobe White getting his money ain't gonna really. I don't necessarily think it's gonna impact anything because it's like, oh, if we suck and we get the first pick, then then we draft somebody who we would hope could be generational type of thing. But outside of that, like the Bulls ain't getting no free agents, so it's like you got to spend the money somewhere. If I'm being honest,
Chicago team. Like, who was like the team? If everybody's like, because obviously different people don't like certain sports, but there's always usually teams, especially like Chicago, which is a major city that has multiple teams. Like, who is the Chicago team? Like, obviously, like during obviously like when MJ was there, like it would have been the Bulls. The Bears had a run there. Like, who was like the Chicago team that everybody fucks with? Because baseball, y'all are separated.
Yeah, I mean, more than anything, it'll probably be it's the Bears. I mean, and the Blackhawks.
Okay.
So like, but I mean, the Bears is if the Bears were good, like
city's going crazy.
The city is going crazy. If the Bears are good, like the Bulls, like it's not saying that it's in like if they good, but it's basketball is just different. Like Chicago is really a football city.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, and I would even say baseball too, but not like if the Bears were good, you would kind of see like the way, you talk about like some delusional fans now, like just not even Bears fans in particular, but just delusional fans in general. If the Bears were good, you would see like a ridiculous amount. Like I would probably like me being the way I am about the Bears is because I know they're not good. I would be completely different if they were good. So it's like, so it's like me being this way about the Bears is because I know they're not good, and it's best for my sanity for me to be this way. But if they were good, like I would talk way more shit than I do now.
I believe it. The before we get you out of here, they play the Cowboys. Is it in Dallas or in Chicago? Looks like it is in Chicago. Score prediction for that game.
You know what the bet lines are? What the
No, but I can get it for you here real quick. Let's see. Bears Cowboys spread. Cowboys and Bears spread. Right now, it's saying over under. Oh, Bears minus 1.5.
They got the point total set at 49.5.
Dallas' defense ain't been shit. So Dallas, like, if there was a game where you could be in a shootout, like, this feels like the one. I got them winning.
Bears 27-24.
I'm rolling with you because I want my prediction to be right. So I need them to start winning some games. Hey, now, man, appreciate you for stopping by. As always, don't forget you can check Will out on the Group Chat podcast. Excuse me. He down there. He breaking down boxing, talking shit, talking music, doing what he does as only he can, man. Appreciate you. We'll catch you next week.
For sure, man. Thank you.